It started with the process of just wandering around the gardens, picking things up, thinking about colour and texture, but then also coupling that with the information that I had learnt about how the botanists in the herbarium collect and how they make stories around plants. The way that they do it is maybe even over centuries, and I'm not even exaggerating, like for over 100 years, they gather more and more information about each plant and they add to the folder. So what happens is our understanding of this specimen grows, and it started making me think, as humans, we use objects, and particularly plants, to put a lot of our memories on. They trigger emotions. This first folder actually is the folder I was given, and I couldn't stop looking at it because it's so beautiful, like the old sort of stamp for the number and then the handwritten script, which I just couldn't stop thinking maybe that was actually von Müller's own script, like 150 years ago. Basically, each story is based around one sample from the collection. And so when I was looking at this, I loved how the tips of the seaweed went pink. And then I was sort of looking at some other leaves I found and how leaves grow in that similar way, where they branch out from a main path or track. And then I started thinking about train tracks and train routes through cities. And this is actually one of the first maps of the Melbourne train systems. This one is probably the most symbolic and significant in many ways. So the sample that I began with is the Flanders Field poppy, which is the classic poppy that they use for Remembrance Day. And we are at the shrine, which is just there. So it just so happened that I have a friend whose grandparents were involved in the war. Basically, they have these amazing objects that they hold very, very dearly. So one of them is obviously the grandfather's medals from the war, and then all his letters to his wife, who he was separated from for the whole war and then eventually reunited with.
So the State Botanical Collection is obviously very high in scientific value, but it's also a constant source of inspiration for artists, as Ty has shown us with her beautiful work for the Metro Tunnel Creative Program. So it's great to get it out there and wonderful to see the collection being used in this way.
Yeah, I think the Metro Tunnel Creative Program is actually really amazing in that it has carved out opportunities for artists. And I think actually for just an audience member, like someone walking through the city, it's quite amazing and very Melbourne and very reflective of the culture of Melbourne to, even through these dark times, have just these amazing patches of colour and quite deep concepts as well. For me, the significance of the gardens is really strong to my whole life, like from my childhood to my children's childhood. And I like the idea that my work might connect in with those other people that are doing exactly that. So they're bringing their grandkids back, or they're coming back and remembering being here with their grandparents like I do. And I like that the work is a complementary image to that, or they might look at those pictures and think, oh, what's the story here? Like, this is someone else's story about the gardens. And I think that this place is just so magical, and it's such a beautiful backdrop for those family memories and personal memories, and such fertile ground for our imaginations and seeds to grow.